The first scream slices through the silent courtroom like a blade, and before anyone can even blink, the woman in the red dress drives her heel into the belly of the pregnant woman collapsing in front of her. The sharp sound of impact echoes against the wooden walls as chaos erupts in the room, gasps flying like shattered glass in the air. The judge's gavel freezes mid-air. The millionaire businessman seated to the side laughs, while the woman gripping her stomach falls to her knees, her light blue dress blooming with a stain of red. And in that single horrifying second, everything she fought for threatens to slip away. If you are watching Kindness Diaries, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you believe in hope, compassion, and second chances, because this story will test every bit of that belief. No one in the courtroom knows the full weight of this moment. The pregnant woman, whose name is Aria, has been holding on to a life built on fragile hope. Once she believed in miracles when she stood at the altar, gazing at the man she thought would cherish her forever, a charming and wildly successful entrepreneur named Vincent. Fame swept him into another world, a world filled with glittering events and greedy praise. He fell for another woman along the way, the mistress in the red dress named Sienna, a ruthless socialite who believed the world owed her every form of admiration. Aria's body trembles as she tries to breathe, pain stabbing through her ribcage. She reaches for the railing of the witness stand, her hand slipping as she fights to stay upright. Her unborn child is everything she cares about, everything she is still fighting for. The red stain against her dress is not just blood, it is the symbol of every betrayal Vincent has inflicted upon her. The judge behind the bench, Harold Brenner, looks furious but for reasons that run far deeper than the courtroom chaos. His white beard frames a face carved with decades of justice, yet behind his stern expression hides a storm of fear for Aria, though nobody knows why. Not yet. Harold had spent many years searching for the daughter who was taken from him when she was young. A cruel twist of fate, a broken marriage, and legal complications left him powerless as she disappeared with her mother, who remarried and changed identities. For decades, he rose through the ranks of law and justice hoping he would one day find her again. He never knew she was here, right in front of him, about to lose everything. Sienna tosses her hair smugly as she lowers her foot, a malicious sparkle in her eyes as if she truly enjoys watching someone break. That cruelty is planted in years of insecurity, years of believing she would only matter if she was chosen over someone else. Vincent's laughter makes her feel victorious, adored, and superior. But deep down, she knows her entire world depends on a man who never truly loved anyone but himself. Aria tries to speak but chokes, her breath uneven. This trial is her last attempt to protect her child and retain a sliver of dignity. She worked 2 jobs throughout her marriage, balancing home life and supporting Vincent's ventures long before he had money or status. She was his anchor, until he decided to set himself free, leaving her drowning behind him. Vincent leans back in his chair, brushing a speck of dust from his expensive suit. He doesn't care about the chaos or the lives he has shattered. His confidence swells from years of feeding on applause, knowing that money always bought him a second chance. He does not fear justice, because he has never truly faced it. Not yet. Aria's knees buckle, and she lets out a broken sob, arms wrapped protectively around her swollen stomach. Her vision blurs as tears sting her eyes. All she wants is safety, a home where her baby can be born into a world that isn't cruel. She whispers a plea, not to the court, not to Vincent, but to fate itself. Let my child live. Harold's heart pounds, rage and terror coiling through his chest. Something in her eyes, the shape of her face, pierces a locked door in his memory. He sees her mother's features, the gentle curve of her smile, hidden beneath pain. His hands tremble on the gavel. Could this be her? Could fate really be this twisted? The courtroom guards rush forward, restraining Sienna as she shrieks, claiming Aria deserved it. Vincent orders them to release Sienna, threatening lawsuits, knowing power has always protected him. But not today. Harold stands, his voice booming like thunder as he calls for immediate medical assistance, demanding Sienna be held in contempt. As Arya collapses onto the polished wooden floor, Harold races around his bench, something a judge rarely ever does. He drops to his knees beside her, his gavel clattering away. He gently touches her hand, and in her hazy confusion, she looks into his eyes as if she almost recognizes something familiar. Trembling, he asks for her full legal name. Arya whispers it. And the world inside Harold shatters. It is her. His daughter. The little girl he spent years searching for, now grown, broken, and bleeding in front of him. A piece of his soul lost and finally found, at the moment she is closest to death. His voice breaks as he orders an ambulance, demanding the courtroom clear. He clutches her hand tightly, making a vow he had waited his whole life to make. He will protect her now, with every bit of strength he has left. Vincent stops laughing. His confidence dissolves into fear. For the first time, the reality of consequences closes in on him. He tries to escape, but security forces him back down. The world he built on lies and vanity begins to collapse. Arya is carried out of the courthouse, Harold walking beside her the entire way, refusing to let go. He prays that he has not found her only to lose her again. He prays for the grandchild he never knew existed, a new chance at being the family he once failed. Arya is rushed into surgery as Harold waits, helpless but hopeful. The weight of all the years lost settles around him, but so does the realization that life sometimes gives back what it once stole, if the heart has the strength to keep believing. If this story touched your heart, please support Kindness Diaries again by liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting, because love, justice, and family are worth fighting for. Before we close, would you comment below what you think should happen to people who try to destroy others for selfishness? Moments later, a nurse walks out of the operating room with tears in her eyes, but she is smiling. Both mother and baby are alive. Harold releases a breath he's been holding his entire life. Vincent is arrested, Sienna faces charges for her attack, and for the first time, Arya wakes up surrounded not by fear, but by love. She opens her eyes to see her father standing beside her, gripping her hand like he will never let go again. Arya silently cries, not because of the pain, but because after all the heartbreak, betrayal, and cruelty, she has finally found her home. And in that moment, the world feels whole again.